All right, Duke and Syracuse. We've got Duke 5-point road favorites. The total here sitting at 59.5, 60.5 across the board in this one. Give Syracuse all the credit. Great win last week against struggling Clemson. Obviously, a Clemson team that is currently issues all over the place, in the trenches. Defense got carved up. Cade Klubnik erratic once again. But Syracuse, obviously, a very impressive win, but it came at a cost, a terrible cost. Steve Angeli, the quarterback for Syracuse, who was really starting to put some good football together, the way they led the comeback for them against UConn. The way he played even in a loss against Tennessee, they moved the football and obviously played very well in the first part of that game against Clemson. And then to see his season come to an end due to injury, that's a shame. And it's unfortunate for Fran Brown's team, who have, certainly started better than I thought. I mean, I was not expecting Syracuse necessarily to be 3-1 to begin the season, including an outright win as 17.5-point dogs at Clemson. But clearly, it's going to be a work in progress, I believe, for Ricky Collins, who took over at quarterback, 3 for 8, 34 yards. It looked like they were kind of nursing that game home to the finish line for Syracuse last week. Now, he is going to obviously get a full week of reps, to get comfortable with the first-team offense here, and he gets to play at home. And it's a Duke defense that has not played great, even in their win against NC State. If NC State doesn't have 3 interceptions and a fumble, they already had 500 yards of offense, NC State, without the turnovers. If they don't turn it over, they probably get into the 40s maybe against that Duke defense. So it's certainly a spot where, yes, Angeli's out. Yes, it's a big loss for Syracuse, but Fran Brown's going to get a week to coach up Ricky Collins here for a home game against a defense that's had some issues. We'll see if he's ready to handle it. The problem is Syracuse's defense played pretty well, believe it or not. I was impressed with how they played against Clemson. But Duke's offense, I think, when they finally stopped turning it over last week, we see Duke's offense can be pretty good with Darian Mensah. That was the issue against Tulane and Illinois, the 2 previous games for Duke. They moved the ball. Offense moved the ball, but they just killed themselves with turnovers in both of those
Fumble. Yeah, exactly. Fumbling all over
the football. So, yeah, I'm kind of with Robert Carlson in the chat here. Even though it's a downgrade at quarterback from Steve Angeli to Ricky Collins, you have to factor in he's getting to play at home. You have to factor in he's playing against a defense that has had trouble getting stops, that it's a spot where he can step in there and probably play well for one game, Ricky Collins, for Syracuse at quarterback. And I think Duke gets their points as well. So I like over in this not Carrier Dome, but you get my point. In the Dome there in Syracuse, I think it's a high-scoring game. Sidewise, I'd lean Duke because, I don't know, just because, Ricky Collins is a bit of an unknown. Duke finally got the win. Duke stopped turning the ball over. They won, and they won by double digits. And I don't know if I love the spot for Syracuse. Coming off a huge win at Clemson. Now you're going to your backup quarterback. I think I lean Duke laying the 5 here, but I'm on the over for sure. I like the over even more in this game. C-Mac, how about you? Duke, Syracuse.
It's like, how is there not points in this game? This is one thing, though, with Duke. I don't know how good the defense really is. So to me, even with this spot, I can't lay points with him, even with the backcourt. Ricky Collins, though, I mean, this guy was highly recruited, right? LSU left there, didn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was a recruit.
I think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to be fine here in this game. It's just after the big win. I think it's Syracuse here at home, even with Collins. He could make some big mistakes that could cost him. That you were talking about in this game, but spot's strange. Early game points, and I think Syracuse.
All right, still leaning to the Qs here. Sometimes look that. Don't forget about the theory here. We use it sometimes in NBA and other sports. Star player out in the first game without him, team steps up. Could that be the case here with Ricky Collins? His first start at quarterback after Angeli goes down for the season. Syracuse with a rise-up effort. We'll see.
Duke should be able to score. Like he's talking, but I have problems with this defense.
Yeah.
So far,
it's been disappointing. I'm sure Manny Diaz is disappointed with this defense. I'm sure he wasn't expecting them to play like this. Nobody was. We thought Duke had a pretty solid defense coming into the year, and it just has not played out that way so far.